my god, there's no cosplay porno. Where can I find my Nissa cosplay porn? I need to stretch my cock and balls out, you fucking twats! Ladies and plops, this is not one of those videos. I did originally sit down and think, you know what, I'm just going to make a montage video of all the hours this fucking weirdo has spent tearing sleeves in half, and then just speak over the top of it, going, ooh, I'm so strong. But then I thought, what's this bullshit? And then it just made me think of the endemic situation we have in Magic, which, if you were wondering what it is this week, ladies and plops, it's that it just seems to be completely flooded with people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about in any situation, and they're an authority on the game. This man never fucking done anything. Probably never won an FNM. Probably never played in a GP. He's always fucking just sitting around wanking his dick. He gets a vote on the Hall of Fame. He gets to shit all his dick on his opinions. I'm sure half his videos are like, how to do this, what's a great product. He literally knows everything. The best sleeves, the best sets to play, the best draft techniques, the best sealed approach, the best way to win anything, even though he can't do any of those things. And it's just a systemic problem in Magic that I see at the minute, where every dick thinks they know best, including me. I always stick myself in the same thing. I'm not like Noxious, a self-deluded fucking midget shithead. Anyway, this intro is 20 times longer than any of us would have imagined. So basically, what I'm saying is, this guy doesn't play Magic's Arena, I'm guessing almost at all. But he knows the top 8 things that we need fixing, obviously. He's looked at Arena, so he must know exactly every nuance to it. Let's see if, I'll give the man a chance, let's see if we, or me at least, can agree with his little tweedy tits.
So offering the absolute best program software for any company, let alone Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, is key. With Magic Arena now in open beta, Wizards of the Coast is pushing hard to position itself as a legitimate digital card game capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with titles like Hearthstone, while also fending off upcoming contenders such as Artifact. I previously reviewed the Magic Arena closed beta, but here I'd like to analyze and discuss the key additions and changes that I feel are necessary before Arena exits the
I got back. Well, clearly he's just farming for fucking views, because almost nothing has changed from the closed beta to open beta. But we'll give him a chance.
Beta stage entirely. Now, I'm not going to be listing things like add old sets in the modern format because, well, I want that very, very much more than anything, in fact. It is not a reasonable expectation to have when Arena leaves its open beta. Also, please note, this video is not sponsored nor in any way supported by Magic Arena, Wizards of the Coast, nor the Hasbro Corporation. To do so would represent an extreme conflict of interest, since I am completely unsponsored and unsupported whatsoever by Wizards of the Coast.
I'm completely unsponsored, uneducated, unaware. I'm just talking balls. Hello, I'm the professor. Do you like my elbow pads? Ooh. Okay.
Coast and Hasbro, I can say and do whatever I want. You may not agree with my evaluations, but know that they are my own and no one else's. Let's begin with a theme deck league. I have a history of not...
Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you catch that from a renowned professor, someone who taught at the high level of basically fucking AS if you were in English in England? You saw what I saw, right? What the fuck is a leaguer? We need a theme deck leaguer. Mr. Noxious, what is a leaguer? I don't know. Give me $1,000 and I shall tell you my leaguer songs. Well, we'll see what he says. A theme deck leaguer. Or a ladder, maybe that is a real word. What a
Theme
dick.
Deck League. I have a history of not being a fan of starter decks Wizards of the Coast develops, but Magic Arena's introductory theme decks are actually quite good. I really enjoy playing these against one another. They're flavorful, introductory without being so powered down as to be slow or overly grindy, and even experienced players can enjoy the gameplay as much as casuals can. There's just one problem. There's no theme deck league. If I do free play with a theme deck, yes, I might get paired up against another. Or I might get paired up against someone who took a theme deck and altered it, maybe just a little by shoving some History of Benalia's in it, maybe a lot by fully upgrading it, and I can even get paired up against someone's fully upgraded Tier 1 standard deck. There's no telling. While Arena uses some amount of deck-based matchmaking, there's not a hard rule assigning you to play one of the other themed decks. So why not offer that option? A theme deck league, which ensures you are doing theme deck against theme deck. No upgrades. That way, everyone is on the same playing field. This is great for new and casual players because they're not going to get smashed by a hyper-competitive person's upgraded deck, but it also can be of interest to more experienced and, competitive players because when you have the same pool of cards as your opponent, it becomes a test of skill. So by having a theme deck-only league, you offer something for both new, casual, and experienced players to enjoy. And speaking of non-standard gameplay...
Alright, I think that's the end. Ladies and flops, the man's a fucking genius. Man, I think that's been one of my main shits since Magic Duels came out, was that you never knew who you were going to play. But, this is the thing. I'll give you two examples of why this won't work. Number one, we had that exact format for 7 years with Duels of the Planeswalkers, and all anyone ever fucking bitched about was, oh, Wizards, I want to play my own decks. I want to fucking be able to modify because I'm cool. I want to be doobs. Never mind the fact that Magic Online existed. These dicks, they didn't have time to play with the real big boys. I want to be able to mash me up the bishmips. Which, ladies and shits, brings me to probably my biggest point in the fucking universe when it comes to Magic now, is nobody seems to give a fuck about uneven games. Not players, not viewers. If you're a player or if you watch, I'm just going to bring up these two shitheads again, like I always do. Noxious and Merchant have already spent in excess of 1,000 billion blams on this game, and all they seem to be playing up against is people who have spent between 0 and 10. And they don't give a fucking shit. They do not care that they are steamrolling these twats. And the saddest thing is the viewers are of the same mindset. They're like, oh my god, you're so awesome that you could beat up a little man who doesn't know how to play Magiques. It's so cool, you got such a inventive mind to stick 4 Benalia Boombags and 4 of those mythics and 6 Amaras and 17 Jibble-Jab demons. Yeah, that's a real test of skill, and it's real good. I just don't get it. I've said this 100 billion times. I don't get why anyone wants to watch that or play that. I know there are not a lot of people in Magic who watch sports because they're all big fat fucking weirdos. What's the worst thing? What's the worst thing in sport to see? It's Man United versus Milton Keynes. That's the fucking shits. It's so shit that we don't do it. It's England versus Liechtenstein. Those are the weeks that we don't turn up. But for some reason, Magic fans want to watch that. Magic players get horny dicks for the chance to smash balls. And the reason why a basic bollocks league is not necessary is because not enough people would use it. I would love to play anyone with an even deck. There is nothing shitter in a draft. Draft is, one of those things you just have to deal with. And you've maneuvered everything around. As long as they don't plop down a Teferi, there's like a 1 in a 50 chance that they do that you're going to win. And they plop a Teferi and you think, well, I can't win. And that's a shit feeling, but it doesn't happen every game. In this, it could happen every game. And if you spend 1,000 beans on a deck, No one's going to be able to match up with you. But the crux of the issue is no one wants to do that. Most of these pussies want to have a superior deck than their opponent. And Jewels of the Planeswalkers, those old games when back in the day, shows that that's what people want. Anyway, let's move on and see.
Number 7, Singleton is a permanent format. Magic Arena Singleton is a fan...
Alright, now this is more indicative of how little this deck plays the game, because I know very few people who think Singleton is good. From my experience, it's fucking shit. It's turbo samey. Even though you can only have one of each card, in theory, that should stop people playing, not like Noxious, a full play set of mythics you don't own. But it's so grindy bollocks. It's all the same. Let's play all the best mythics and a few green ramp spells. It's just, and I wonder what this deck is going to say about it. Because I bet it's not true. I bet it ain't true, ladies and shits.
Fantastic format. It exists only on Arena, where players build 60 card standard legal decks using no more than one card.
Look how fucking hard he's reading his script. His eyeballs are going to pop out of his head like he's just seen Christine Sprankle's arse cheeks. This man has no fucking idea what Singleton is. Singleton is fucking Brawl with no commander. And you know why I know that? Because that's why it exists. If you didn't know, ladies and shits, Singleton only exists on Arena because they couldn't program a functioning commander card in time for trying it out, and they just went, well, fuck it. We'll have Brawl without a commander. That's the truth. The developers were too incompetent to fix it, so we got Singleton. Singleton has no legs at all as a format, but he's got to come up with fucking 8 shits, so got to say something.
Copy of each card. The gameplay is top-notch, the deck building exciting, and its limited testing during the closed beta was met with a huge positive reception. The only problem? It isn't a permanent...
The only problem? I just made all of this shit up! Ladies and plops, as a fellow English graduate, I can tell you can write anything. If your following sentence doesn't provide any evidence, you can say anything. Well, everyone loved this format. There was some rapturous applause. From who? I'm the professor. Fucking dickhead.
Permanent fixture. It was just a test this out briefly sort of thing. No, make it permanent. You can't just have standard and draft. If older formats like modern...
You can't just have standard and draft like real Magic. I'm sorry, you can't just have standard and draft. Also, they're sealed, you silly old cunt. Never, and it's not to mention the fact that they're definitely going to bring in other shits. Singleton, isn't it? Anyway, I won't pause it anymore. We'll get to the end of this little section because it's fucking dumb.
And Legacy are years off, then in the meantime, diversify your offerings by embracing formats such as Singleton. It not only gives people options when they maybe start to get bored with just doing standard or draft every day, but as a format only supported on Arena, it gives a distinction to the program. Arena, being the only source of official Singleton gameplay, will mean Singleton fans will flock to it, hype the platform, encourage more to join Arena to grow Singleton. Content and articles will become regular fixtures. Embracing Singleton is win-win for everyone. And speaking of win-win for everyone...
Alright, we'll see what this next one is. But, oh man, I should have stopped. I'm going to have to stop it because I'll just lose my fucking track otherwise. What did he say? And I completely disagreed again. Oh, fucking balls. Alright, from now on, I gotta pause it as soon as I got something to say. I'm not gonna go back.
Number 6, continue the tutorial. With Magic Arena, we finally have a rudimentary
Alright, got no problems with this one, obviously.
Tutorial where new players can be taught not just how to use the program's interface, but the basics of Magic the Gathering gameplay as well. This is huge. We've never had this. Magic Online doesn't even teach you how to use Magic Online.
Alright, he's just said we've never had a full tutorial. Professor McShits, this is exactly the kind of fucking 10-minute research twat job that I knew we were going to get. Duels of the Planeswalkers had some of the most in-depth curved-based tutorial you could ever get. So you had there's the difference between an instant and a sorcery. That was great. All the way up to the puzzle mode, which would literally have Luis Scott Vargas scratching his balls. And not just because, I don't know, someone's muff gave him crabs. Because they were fucking hard. They were tough. And I'm sure you can do them all now. They were super tough. They taught us Magiques. But he doesn't know about that because he's a fucking knob. But he's definitely the man to tell you about it. Definitely. Not any of the peeps who used to do all that. No, we keep those guys all quiet. It's the professor. Mr. Thanos knows everything. Twat.
Let alone how to play Magic the Gathering. But with Arena, people who don't know how to play Magic can now go through this brief and basic tutorial and begin playing Magic the Gathering right away. And all for free. Even for paper players, this is big, because the most noteworthy obstacle to getting in new players to the game is just learning the complexities of the game. Now, we can say to anyone who wants to learn, hey, just go online, sign up for Arena, it's 100% free, and it'll teach you how to play. But it needs to go further. The tutorial should not be a one-time brief foray into the basics, but rather a scaling online learning tool. Continue not only to improve and refine it for the early stages, but keep building on later stages with more tests, more lessons, and more rewards for...
So just like the old Jules games, right? But he doesn't know that they exist, so fuck it.
New players for following it. Heck, maybe make it so that grinding your way through the tutorial gets you exclusive theme decks or a few coins to spend on a draft so that new players are incentivized to continue their lessons. Maybe even have some intermediate stuff at a certain point. Or, you can always just sit through my own classes on the subject, teaching Magic.
Oh, did I ever say I know how to do everything perfectly? Learn how to mulligan. Oh, because I know every deck that was ever printed. I'm the professor. What a fucking twat.
Magic the Gathering lessons on mulligans, sideboarding, how to be a better aggro, how to be a better control, how to be a better combo player.
If anyone tells me Magic is not why? Someone tell me in the comments. If you don't like me, you wouldn't have got this far into the video. But I honestly want to know, because it extends to the fucking twats who play Arena on Twitch and YouTube. Why would you fucking read articles by this man when world champion caliber people are not hoarding the information that gets those guys where they are? Owen Tortenwald writes articles every fucking week. So does Patrick Shapen. So does fucking the top 50 guys, because they don't make enough money to shit on their fucking dick like this twat. This is such balls. Oh, let me tell you about this. You're a fucking moron. And you're a moron if you watch these over those other people. Because it's just like watching Merchant fucking bumble his way through a $600 deck versus an intro pack, when you could watch the person who built it explain why any of those cards are in. There's something wrong with the mindset of a Magic fan. It's fucking weird. It's so weird.
Tempo player, mana curve, card advantaged, mid-range, aggro versus defense, play groups and testing, and more. Whatevs. Number 5, competitive prizes. Arena should not forget competitive players, and the best thing to offer them in this area is competitive prizes. Artifact has a $1 million tournament planned, and yeah, that's Arena's competition. Never mind the terrible rake on gems and gold, but start brewing a competitive angle to Arena by planning major events which pay in green. Dollar bills, yo.
I don't know. This is another thing I don't understand. Why? We have legitimate physical Magic competitions every week. None of those players play Arena because all the players are fucking balls. The players are shit. So they don't waste their time fucking around. If you give them, we'll give them and we'll have some money, that's just the same as watching the Vintage Super League on a Tuesday night. And you know who watches that? Fucking nobody. Noxious on a standard Tuesday will get double the amount of views all of those professionals get. And if you told me, oh, at the end of it in Super League, one of them gets 50 grand, what the fuck do I give a shit? If Paulie Cheap's got 50 G's at the end of the tournament, or if Gabby Shit's got enough to comb her hair once in a while, I don't fucking give a fuck. It doesn't. Players' rewards is not an incentive to get people to watch. If someone told me, oh, the Champions League final's not giving out any prize money, I wouldn't go, fuck it, Juventus v Barcelona, bollocks. I'd rather take a shit. Oh, but someone's getting 50 million? Well, now I'm tuning in. I'm going to go to my dad's. It's that important. It doesn't make any fucking sense. If you want to get professional players to play Arena, you got to do it the way everyone is fucking doing it. And that's just give people some money. Stick 50 bags of shit up some art souls, I don't know, balls. And then they'll play Arena. That's why there are 6. If you went to Twitch right now, there'll be 4 or 5 people you'd never seen play Magic ever on that list, all smashing someone like Kenji's balls because Wizards have paid them to play it. And, man, I just don't see how running a tournament where Gabriel Nassif, who gets 250 views, unfortunately, despite being a world caliber player, versus some other person nobody gives a shit about. If you told them, oh, it's for 55 grand who wins, no one gives a shit.
This sort of spectacle not only keeps your own player base engaged, but it grows it, as people want to come to Magic in hopes of cash and glory, or just want to watch those who do so. We need events big and small, with competitive prizes in order to do this. This can't just be a game for casuals only. Otherwise, Arena ends up being the tutorial for Magic Online. All right.
That is just such spurious reasoning. It just doesn't even make any sense. We have a real physical game and Modo, so you want 3 avenues of competitive shits. If Arena ever had competitive games, it would be exactly as you would imagine. Give Owen Turnwald and Seth Manfield and all those guys unlimited decks, unlimited card pools, and they'll just play for the sake of it. It will be exactly the same game as you would see on an SCG tour. The only positive, not the only positive, we'd have no cheating and the shuffling would be instant, which maybe that's not a bad idea. But he didn't mention either of those things, so he can fuck himself.
Let's hit the quarterfinals with our top 4. More than anything.
All right, that's another. What the fuck? Right? I didn't miss that, ladies and shits. We all got that from this. Clearly, this guy was a sportsman at school, and he knows all about what quarterfinals are. Quarterfinals, that was what the man said. Top 4 quarters, right? Not semis. No, that's not what the top 4 is. Not the semi-finals. This man was always there on the Friday nights, cheering his local base beans team. Sportsman. And anyone wonders why I think I could knock out 50 nerds. I could knock out 50 of these guys. Fuck you. The professor, eh?
Else. These next 4 are, in my evaluation, the most critical things that are needed before Arena leaves its open.
Damn, I'm giving this guy a whole fucking, quarter of a cent? What a Ballbags. Approaching the drop.
Beta. And we move on to number 4 with Fix That Economy. Yes. Magic players will pay for their addiction, but you must focus on long-term growth and sustainability as well. And a fair, generous, and in Arena's case, overhauled economy.
Oh my lord. I can't get into this one for too long because it's a never-ending load of shit. Currently, having spent no money, you could have, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, 1 week after release, 10 decks with some quality mythics inside. What else? Free draft, $5 for a big bag of money. The Magic's Arena economy, from what I can tell, and I don't know who is going to refute what I say, is at the very least completely fine. I think it's probably good. Magic both has to support its physical game. You can't just have Arena be like, Everything's free, play everything, because no one's going to fucking use the real game. And aside from that, I just don't know what people are fucking moaning about. How much more do you fucking want? The games are bottlenecked, so you get probably 5 times as much gold in the first hour than you do for the rest of the day. So it helps everyone out if you ain't got fucking 6 hours to spend drafting and sealed in for that extra 1,000 profit at the end of the day, which, by the way, is about $2. You fucking pussy. Just buy your packs if that's what you're so desperate for. Anyway, let's see what he says.
Is needed. I talked about this before, but it is critical that this game not go out of beta with a non-competitive economy compared to games like Hearthstone and Artifact.
Number one, Artifact ain't even out, and Artifact is £20 before you get anything. So to say this is a non-competitive bullshit compared to Artifact is fucking dumb. Also, Hearthstone is out, and there is, I can confirm, no way Arena pays out less than Hearthstone. Maybe in competitive reward wins, but I am almost certain that that's complete bullshit. If you play competitive sealed and you go 6 wins, I think you get 30 packs. That's kind of pie in the sky or some shit in the terms of what you can expect to win. But if you do it, you get 30 packs. But the crux is, if you play nice and steadily for an hour a day, you definitely get more gems than you would, or coins at least, in Hearthstone. And for this man to just sit there and start making up facts, this is why I know this video was going to be bullshit. He's just making shit up. You can't say, oh, the economy's worse than Hearthstone, when factually, empirically, it is not worse. You stupid bellend.
Wizards of the Coast say, well, we cost more, but our gameplay is better, is the wrong
I've never heard them say that ever. Never once.
attitude to take. Ideally, eliminate gold and gems and have one singular currency.
Absolutely agree with this one. There's no need for that at all. To adopt the EA FIFA system in an attempt to bamboozle your customer base is just fucking nasty. But also the fact that whiz-bangs have this self-schmeebeloibs of their own bollocks that they do everything for the community. Oh, we love our customers. We love you so much. Would you like to play Majinx? Oh, but at the same time, we're going to use the FIFA fucking shit loot boxy bollocks. Which, I shouldn't have said the word loot box. That's not what it is. I mean, you know, technically, all Majinx is loot boxing. But the dual currency is awful. It's absolute bullshit. And it's doubly worse that Wizards are trying to act like they're all our mates when they're just fucking capitalist corporate ball bags.
I propose lotus petals. I mean, golden gems aren't even a part of Magic's lore and flavor. Lotus petals should be our singular currency. But if you can't combine both because of those demonic accountants, then at least have gems and gold have a sensible ratio into one another and a clear value in regards to the products that you're buying from the store. How much gold is a gem worth? Why can't I buy gems in ratios that fit the store? Again, I don't want to repeat my points from last time, but this hasn't changed and it is critical that it do so. At the very least, don't use an intentionally obtuse and confusing economic system with the hopes of having players unclear on just how much money they are spending on items. Also, rename the gold and gems into lotus petals and moxes. Number 3.
Moxes! Look how he flourishes his hand as if it just came to him off the top of his head. Despite the fact this man couldn't ad-lib a single verb if he got kicked in the balls by Kevin Nash. The man, he's got the charisma of a fucking bag of McCoys. Fucking hell.
In-store tie-ins. Do you remember Duels of the Planeswalkers?
Do you?
It was a
Do you fucking stupid bitch?
precursor to Magic Arena in a way, and it was responsible for a huge surge in new and returning players until Wizards of the Coast killed it with terrible decisions long before cutting support. One of the smartest things Magic the Gathering ever put forward in this modern era was Duels of the Planeswalkers. And one of the smartest things that Duels did, besides being playable on tablets, being on Steam and other platforms, was to have in-store tie-ins where players were given their activation code plus online bonuses plus actual paper cards just for showing up at their local game store. This was brilliant. It tied the online to the paper, and it got huge new influxes of people not only playing Magic, but playing it at their local game store as well as online. I remember during this era just how many people would constantly be walking into my local game.
All right, let me tell you a story, ladies and shits. He could be telling the truth. I'm just going to flat say I don't believe him. Well, maybe your experience was also different. I got my promo code and went to the shop and got my card. I never saw anyone else do it. I didn't see not any of the people I've come to befriend since then. They never played that game. No one got any cards. No, I didn't see a single person pick those up. That's all I can say. Never saw anyone. One day I'll tell you about a massive scam I pulled off, but that's not for this video.
Store to pick up their Duels of the Planeswalkers codes, and they'd all go, whoa, look at all these people playing Magic, and a lot of them wanted to find out how they could do so.
At that time, my Central London stores, F&M, had 8 people. Central London.
Too. And it went both ways as well, because in order to get those paper promos of good cards too, I might add, Scavenging Ooze was one of them, a modern staple alternate art foil that you just get for signing up for Duels of the Planeswalkers. Can you imagine something like that for Arena? So paper players signed up for Duels just to get the paper promo, and online players came into their local game store.
All right, just a really quick one. Just before I forget, like before, we did have to buy Duels of the Planeswalkers. These weren't just free because we'd shit on our balls. That game was like £10. Obviously, these cards are probably worth close to £10 now. Also, was M14... I doubt this had broken into Modern by then. But still, nobody didn't want a Grave Titan or a Lily Tits. Plus, look at that artwork. Boop, 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 boop. Beep, 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 beep. Sold.
To get their online codes. And then lo and behold, many of them started to play. And this is how you can support local game stores while also expanding into the new digital marketplace. It doesn't have to be an either-or thing. This is how you invest in long-term stability while still gaining short-term growth and success. Keep your ecosystem healthy. And like all organs in your body, tie them all together. In-store tie-ins for Arena, send Arena players into local game stores, give them a few paper cards.
Well, so far, if anyone's watched the developer streams and seen any just signs of both things, is that Whizbangs are intentionally not tethering Arena to paper Magic. It's like they've realized now local game shops are going to shit their balls, and Arena, or maybe even in 5 or 6 years, the sequel to Arena will be where most people play Magics, because it just ain't gonna be in a fucking shop with 16 stinky, fat, jogging bottom wearing twats when you could just sit in your room and play short, smug, beardy, grinning fucking pussy twats. Much better that way.
And speaking of this, number 2, codes for Arena in paper product. At Guilds of Ravnica pre-release, we were given a promo code for a free Magic Arena sealed event, which essentially meant that if you played in a pre-release event, you got a sort of quasi-free pre-release event on Arena. Fantastic. Simply fantastic. But there's so much more needed.
I agree. It was fantastic. Not just for the players of Arena, as opposed to the one to the other, in the sense that Duels of the Planeswalkers didn't send many people that I could tell to my local shop. At least 3 of my own little play group, which is only about 8 peeps, have downloaded and played Arena entirely because of this code. That's a good idea. Whizbangs. They did the Whizzy Whiz. Smarties.
And it is one of the most critical things. First of all, these pre-release codes were limited, one per customer. That right there, for any future codes, needs to go away. The point of an online code is that if I spend the money on a paper product, I get that product or something very similar to it online. This way I do not have to buy the product twice. And again, this grows the whole ecosystem. Some people will come in and buy boost.
All right, I'll forget if I don't pause it. I disagree here. I don't want to be a contrarian because you just have to look logically. I'm not an econometrician either, but Wizards want Arena to succeed. They don't want Arena players to be pushed into paper Magic. So if there were fucking 1 billion sealed codes, the value of codes being bought via the store on Arena would collapse instantly. You'd get places, ironically, who he's sponsored by, Card Kingdom, selling Arena codes for like 15 cents on the dollar. So then Arena, through their marketplace, would crash. And yeah, it'd be fucking great to have 1 billion cards and swing your balls around like Noxious. But you can't be selfish. You can't think, I want more for nothing. Because it's just not the way of the fucking world, and it's definitely not the way of Magic. When was the last time you walked into your LGS and said, mate, I want to play all day, every day, and then Friday I want a free draft? When that happens, then we got some deals on Arena. Like, people are just so blind to the value you get from Arena. It just boggles my arse, for reals.
Booster boxes and planeswalker decks and bundles just to get the codes within, and in so doing spend money at their local game store, and maybe get interested in and hooked on paper and play Friday Night Magic and maybe even some GP.
Here's why this is all fucking stupid and bullshit. If that came into effect today, this is what I would do. I'd go to my shop, maybe even my shop or Amazon or anywhere that sells Magic's boxes. I'd buy a box, open it all, redeem all the codes, which is what would have cost me the shits, stuck every single on eBay, and just made as much of my money back as possible. And then it's just been playing, is the key, for free again. And I just can't see Wizards sitting around at their boardroom thinking, all right, how can we give everyone free shit, perpetually sustainable forever? But I want to play everything for free. They should have put Liliana of the Veil in the last Modern Masters. It was themed. This is a short aside, but this is where I always know this man was a twat. If you want to speak theme sets from Innistrad, Snapcaster Mage and Liliana were not the two cards. They were just the best cards. You fucking stupid itchy balls knob. Snapcaster, who looked like some kind of Asian scientist, was not a solid representation of a gothic horror novel, and Liliana of the Veil was all over the fucking world. The universe, even. If you're going to pick something thematic from Innistrad, you've got Avacyn, who was fucking born and shit there, Grizzlebrand, the trees, which they chose, just because they're not valuable, don't fucking shit your pants, and the Hellvault. Those were the fucking themed cards. What an absolute fucking bellend.
More, which is why you need to usher in these online codes in just about every product you put out in paper. Planeswalker decks should have them. Bundles, each and every booster pack should have them. An online code in all paper product is the second most critical, most important thing.
Second most critical is the need to never have to buy anything in Arena again. You fucking delusional prick. Also, if number one is not what I think it is, he definitely has never played Arena. I'm going to say what I think number one should be right now, just so we're all ready for it. You need to fix the fucking draft. I don't know what he's going to say. Drafting against AI is fake enough. Drafting against the AI where they have not given two fucking shits about what cards you get past is ridiculous. You can force red-green in M19 and you're going fucking 6-2 or 6-3 minimum. It looks like you can force Boros in this one and you'll do the same. They are so fake. So fake. But I'm sure this guy's playing drafts at least once a week. We'll fucking see what the number one problem with Arena is, which it's absolutely the draft format against AIs. We'll see. Or he, as a Magic's man, he might say the worst thing about Arena is the fact that we're playing our own format, which is best of one. Never mind Singleton, you stupid pussy. Everyone's forgotten who plays Arena that Magic the Gathering is best of 3. The only people who seem to play that are the ones that we keep accusing of being super try-hard, boring cunts. That's actual Magic. Anyway, let's see what he thinks it is.
Arena must do, but it must do them right. Don't give me a code for just 6 booster packs in a booster box.
What a knob.
Wizards of the Coast can't be stingy with these. 1 booster pack in paper gets me 1 booster pack on Arena. And don't limit them per account. Let me go buy a case of booster boxes.
Let me buy a case of boxes. How many fucking distribution centers will have thousands of... we can't go over the same fucking shit. He's such a delusional idiot. I don't know any other game that does that. You could say Pokemon. I think they might do that. But in Pokemon standards, their online game is like the 15th most lucrative source of income for their game, for that brand. You got toys, cartoons, movies, the fucking Game Boy games. The card game online for Pokemon has got to be fucking negligible. The card game for Magic is the game, you bellend.
And then go nuts on entering those codes onto my account, and don't let them expire. So what's the number one most...
Oh, that was some quality editing. So what's the number... Oh, let me edit that in. So I got my finger on my chin. What's the number 1? This means 1 because it goes up my ass. We'll see what it is. Do you think it's going to be more important than fixing the draft format? Also, the fucking... Suspicious lands, 5 color basics, bang, on turn 5 every time. I don't even think he knows about that.
Most critical thing Arena needs before leaving open beta. If nothing else on my list gets done, this one thing is vital for the success of the game and Arena's online presence, and that's cross-platform compatibility. Wizards of the Coast, your customers all want to play Arena, but not everyone is on a PC. It is 2018. If you limit your platforms, then you limit your digital game. Don't limit yourself.
Oh, dearie me, dearie me. I mean, how long can we listen to him say something that is an inevitability? That's like him saying, everybody, do you know the sun's gonna explode one day? Yeah, I mean, fucking so what? The thought that Arena's never gonna come out on Macs or Xboxes or PlayStations is just fucking dumb. There's no, and I don't know how you feel. I don't feel like there's a big rush. If you can't play on a PC, the game's in a beta, and fucking hold your shit. I can't play PUBG on a PlayStation. Can I ever? I don't know. Who the fuck cares? Play something else.
Arena was built using Unity, which means cross-platform compatibility is supposedly easy and built in. Unity allows for Arena to be made available on Mac, on Steam, on tablets, on PlayStation 4. Do it. If nothing else, put Arena on Mac when it goes out of open beta so that any computer anywhere can play the game. This is also an astonishingly obvious...
He's trolling whoever he's playing by just spamming nice. That's a good attitude.
...requirement since it needs so little. The program is in Unity. Unify us. Don't delay. Shut up and take our money. But what do you think? I want to know what features you feel...
I think you're a fucking idiot. A complete bellend. No, that's too harsh. This is the problem, ladies and plops. I laid it out at the beginning of the thing, and I think I've confirmed the case. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't provide any evidence to any just off-the-cuff bullshit accusation. Oh, this was really where you able to see you, bubs. Follow what? No. I don't need to give you any evidence. I don't need to cite any sources that this shitty thing is what everyone wants. It's just fucking balls. It's everyone's problem. everyone on Arena, probably me as well, is just totally up their own shit, talking as though they're a complete authority on a subject they're fucking balls at. Wedge, he's an authority on eating Big Macs and shitting his pants and then blowing his ass out trying to walk down the stairs. Not on Magic. But somehow he can vote on the Pro Tour. He can vote on the Hall of Fame. Every fucking week he'll come out with, well, I can't even mimic him because I can't do a very campy voice. All I can do is, my name is a Wedge. My name is a Wedge. I'm wearing my coat inside because I don't want you seeing my bigger man boobies. You see, I can't do a Wedge. I got some good ones, but not Wedge. Why? Why do people listen to that guy? His arguments are as valid as yours because he can't back them up ever with evidence. Even though he's completely free to plagiarize all the shit that he must read because it's not from experience. If all of your bullshit that comes out of your mouth are based on other people's experiences, yours is fucking invalid almost. Merchant telling me how to play Magic when he's shit and he's just net decked some shit he's found off Modo is not a good way to learn Magic. Learning all those how to be a tempo player from a man who plays casually once a month is fucking stupid. Reading some other fucking shit out of some guy's balls is also stupid. If you want to get better, you got to go to the top. And if they're not giving their opinions, then you move down. Nobody at the top of Magix is fucking hoarding their information. Luis Scott Vargas has got columns coming out of his fucking dickhole. You can read any of those. I would listen to him. I would not listen to this dude. Anyway, if you got to this far, you must be on my side anyway. If you didn't, you're probably a fucking shit. And you can rub your balls all up your mum's muff.